Hey guys, I'm Jet with W.A. Smith Financial Group, and today we're going to talk about a recent article that highlights a hidden in plain sight type of gap that I know you're not paying attention to enough when it comes to retirement planning. Hey guys, real quick, before we get into the video today, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so that we can continue to bring more content like this to people just like you. And more importantly, subscribe to our weekly video email series, Ascend 360 Insider, designed to help you elevate your financial plan to the next level, brought to you exclusively by the CEO and founder of our company, Mr. Bill Smith. You can hit the link in the description below. It is completely free. Weekly emails delivered straight to your inbox. Recent article by CNBC titled "The Retirement Planning Gap is Hidden in Plain Sight," Harvard professor says. Some of the key highlights of this article: planning for retirement often focuses on one's finances. We know you focus 99% of your efforts when you're talking about retirement planning for retirement on the money side of things. When to claim Social Security? How much should you have in a 401k? Do I have enough money in my retirement plan to do this? Will I be okay? Will I run out of money? I know all the fears and the questions that you have. Investing in strong social connections, whether with a partner, friends or family, others, is arguably, according to the Harvard professor in this article, just as important. We don't focus enough time on what retirement life is going to be like, what it's going to look like, how you're going to spend your time. The Harvard study of adult development shows that having meaningful relationships is the strongest predictor of living a long, happy, and healthy life, even more important than the money side of your equation. And it's never too late to improve yours. So I really found this article to be interesting, having been a financial advisor for over 15 years at a company that exclusively, for the most part, helps people with retirement planning and building that financial plan so that they can retire and live that retirement life of their dreams. I've seen this time and time again. 95% of the conversations surround around the money side of things. Do I have enough? How do I do this? And not enough conversation is had between the advisor and the client and their family about what retirement is actually going to look like. How are you going to spend your time? Perfect example of this. My father, many years ago, he wanted to retire at age 55. So he called that retiring early. And when he got to that point, he worked with a good financial planner, happened to be W.A. Smith Financial Group, sat down with Bill Smith, our CEO and founder, and he worked up a really good financial plan. Bill put actionable steps together for him. He helped him invest his money in the way that made the most sense, the most efficiently. And my father was able to retire at age 55. Leading up to that point, he spent so much time and energy on making sure that the financial side of his life was going to be complete, that he was going to be okay. He was going to be able to spend when he wanted to spend, how he wanted to spend, and where he wanted to spend, that he focused very little, if any, time on what he was actually going to do in retirement. So fast forward, he retires at 55. And for those first couple of weeks, it was like euphoria. You know, I'd ask him how it's going. He'd say, "Oh gosh, every day is Saturday. This is great." But the tide quickly turned. Month in, 2 months in, I noticed a very different side of him, almost a depression-like state. Wasn't sure what he was going to do. He'd wake up and he'd sit there and he'd, drink his morning coffee, and there just wasn't much there for him. He didn't think about all the relationships that he was going to lose. I mean, he worked a 35-year career with people that he came to know as friends that he would see day in, day out, every single day. And almost overnight, all those relationships were lost. And he himself felt lost as well. The article goes on to state about 2 in 3 people worry more about running out of money than about death. And that's according to a recent poll by Allianz Life, which is an insurance company. Furthermore, relationships play a big role in preventing and relieving stress. So we always focus on, well, I won't be stressed if the money is there. I won't be stressed if I have the income there. And while that's true, we've always said that the foundation of a good retirement plan is income, making sure that you have paychecks so that you can live the way that you want to live. That's what retirement's all about. We focus too much time and energy on, did I save enough, and not enough time and energy on, do I have enough to spend the way I want to spend and live the way I want to live. Loneliness and isolation are stressors in and of themselves, according to the Harvard professor. Furthermore, the mortality impact This is crazy to me. The mortality impact of being socially disconnected is like smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. And that's the U.S. Surgeon General in a 2023 report on the nation's loneliness epidemic. Here's the key. Why is retirement so stressful? Well, we talked about it. You lose relationships. Your identity that you had, 20 years, 30 years, 40-year career is kind of wiped away overnight. What we do when we sit down with people, aside from all the financial planning and talking about the money and the right way to invest it and how to spend it and tax efficiency, and obviously that is extremely important in the grand scheme of things. But we always talk about budgets and how people are going to spend their time. And if they've thought long and hard enough about what their life will look like post-retirement. I can't state it or stress it enough. The idea of making sure that you have a new identity formed. You don't have to lose yourself. You can still be the same person you always were, but you have to make sure that you have a plan for how you're going to fill your minutes, your hours, your days each week. That first Monday, if you retire on a Friday, that first Monday when you wake up is going to feel amazing. And you're going to feel on top of the world, but that can quickly evaporate over time if you haven't planned well enough for what you will do with your loved ones, with your time, with your hobbies. And those also have to be factored in. So these two things go hand in hand. You spend a lot of time focusing on what your retirement's going to look like. You take that into a financial planning meeting now. You add that to your budget. You add those line items to the expenses and the income goals that you have. If your basic expenses are going to cost you $3,000, think about how you're going to spend all the rest of your time. What's that going to cost you? You're killing two birds with one stone now. You're thinking about what you're going to do with your time, and you're making a plan for it. And simultaneously, you're determining with a good financial planner or an advisor, do I have enough money to forge this new identity? If you have questions or comments about this, please drop them in the comment section below. We would love to address your questions in another video. Thanks for being with us here today. Look forward to seeing you next time.